I'm Belinda Sunshine. Welcome to another program of When We Were Young. And today, I'd like you to meet someone very, very exciting too. He happens to be one of the pioneers of Singapore's music history. Well, we'll watch the video to find out more about him and the band that he was in.
Hi, I'm Henry Chua. I used to play with the Quest in the 60s and also record for EMI.
In 1960, a group of neighborhood friends came together to form a band known as the Quest. Chong Chow Pin, otherwise known by his nickname Jap, had initiated the formation of the band. At the time, Jap and his friends Raymond Leong, Henry Chua and Lim Wee Guan were only 13 to 14 years old. Inspired by British music, he started playing popular songs without formal training in music. In 1961, they were introduced as the Quests. In 1963, Reggie Verghese replaced Raymond, who had decided to pursue a career in engineering instead. In 1964, the band signed with EMI and recorded the song Shanty, which shot to #1 on the Singapore Hit Parade chart and stayed there for 12 weeks. The band's popularity extended beyond Singapore and stretched across the region. They became one of the first Singaporean groups to be offered a recording contract overseas. Exploring many musical genres, including rock and roll, bossa nova, and cha-cha, the Quests sold more than 20,000 records. Unfortunately, the lineup that only included 2 original members, Jap and Wee Guan. The Quests officially disbanded in the late 1970s. The members pursued different career paths after disbanding. Despite the early disbandment, the Quests reunited for charity concerts in 1982, 1989, and 2001, and even re-recorded a CD of their own hits. The legacy of the Quests continues to live on in the hearts of fans. And today, we have the opportunity to feature them on our show. And there, you've seen them for yourself, the Quest, one of the best groups here in Singapore way back in the 60s. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to one of the founding members. He's none other than the bassist himself, Henry Chua. Hi, Henry.
Hi, Belinda.
How have you been?
Fine, thank you.
After all these years, I want to find out from you, what really got you into music?
What really got me into music? It's a long time ago. 1961.
Oh,
God, it's
Okay.
about 61 years ago.
I was in school still.
Yeah, I was. So do I. So was I.
Okay.
Yeah, we had in those time we don't have the new computer, no mobile phone, no handphone, no smartphone, no nothing. We play with marbles and kites. And those fortunate ones, or those a little bit more talented, have guitar. So we either play under the coconut tree or we play at parties. But all this while, we have no music teacher and everything was self-taught. So we got around with the neighborhood boys and jam around. Yeah, so it's most of my band members stay in Tiong Bahru. We were the Tiong Bahru boys. Yeah, and all the rest were members of Tiong Bahru living close by. So we always got together and play our guitars and just sing whatever we can. That's a pastime.
But how did the group get together?
How did the group
You were
get
very
together?
young, right? Like 14 years old, 13 years old.
To
Yep.
61, I was like 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And two of the members of the neighborhood, is Jeb Chong and Raymond, they came from Queenstown Secondary Technical School. The abbreviation is Quest. You got
Oh, so that's how the name
it?
came
Yes,
about.
so we say, hey, sounds good, Quest. Quest is always searching, the big search. So the name came about there, and then we got Wee Guan and myself, which are also childhood friends. We were childhood friends since primary 1, primary 2, yeah, in the same school, Tiong Bahru Primary School. And we got together and then we bump around and we play for fun. Yeah, but most of the time, later on, we entered some talent time, but I think we lost them all. So, but we finally won one of the talent time. I think there was a YMCA. You know, Prince Edward Road behind there's the big YMCA, and we won it. And then the TV got a hold of us. And so that time was, I think, Vernon Martinez.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Vernon
producer.
Martinez, yes, and then got hold of us for Dendang Ria.
Oh,
Remember
Ding
Dendang
Dang
Ria?
Ria.
Yes.
Yes.
Hashim, isn't it?
Hashim, that's
Yes.
right.
And Pop In Team, Vernon
Okay.
Martinez. So we played there live. Everything was live over the air, telecast live. Nothing must go wrong, you know. Mr. Murphy must not be there. And
Okay.
we managed to pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah. And then EMI spotted us. EMI
Ah.
spotted us and got us in for an audition. Because they think we were good. I don't know. So we went there for audition. I came up the next week with a very melodious piece, and Reggie also came up with another one.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we played for her in the studio, and she was very happy because it's too original.
Oh, so it was like one A side and the B side.
Yeah, so Mrs. Devan said, yeah, I think what do you call your tune? So I said, call it Shanty.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the
Shanty,
name.
what is the name of a lady or something else?
Shanty, there's three meaning.
Okay.
Shanty, if we spell with T-I, is the name of Indian lady, Indian girl.
Oh, okay.
Shanty.
Shanty. Okay.
Then Shanty is also a sea sailor's song.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the sea shanties are sung by sailors.
Mhm.
And Shanty also means a broken down shack. It's a building. Yeah, so you see whatever you like. I do not have any connotation why I call it Shanty, but I just like the N, the letter N in the name. Yeah, and so Mrs. Devan liked Shanty, and she said, okay, Shanty shall be the A side. Yeah, and so it was in the A side. So we went in again to record it. Yeah, and then we had Shanty on one side, and Raji's got this Gallopin on the other
Galloping.
side. Yeah, and the moment this was aired, I think it went up to the hit parade very, very fast.
Wow, Boomtown
It
Charlie.
was by accident,
Yeah.
not by design.
Okay.
We were just happy to cut the record, but we don't care what happened. Eh? I mean, to cut the record for a 17-year-old kid is something. Eh?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so we never know what hit parade were you talking about. Yeah. So anyway, we're happy. Yeah, we achieved something personal satisfaction for the band as well as for the Deji and me who wrote the songs. Yeah.
But what I'm curious is that, I mean, you guys have got no musical background. You never went to music school and
True,
what have you.
true.
Now, how did you manage to come up with a song like that? Shanty. And how did Reggie come up with Galloping?
Yeah. Reggie is very talented.
Okay.
Yeah. On top of playing guitar, he also self-taught the piano.
Piano.
I learned guitar by myself with the help of Jeb. Jeb taught me the first C chord. So I learned the C chord. Then I keep listening to music. I beginning to understand musical theory, although I don't know what it means. I can hear harmonies of chords, harmony of diatonic. Now I know it's diatonic. And then I can write songs in the correct key. I'm sure many people today can do it. Yeah, you're a little bit musical minded. You can't veer away from the key. Yeah, so I managed to do it that way. It was only later that I went for music lessons, paid for EMI. Thank you. Under the pupillage of Rufino Soriano.
Oh.
Yeah, he was my first music teacher.
Teacher.
Yeah, and he really brought me the music. Yeah.
Good. You really learn from the masters.
Yeah, the master himself.
That's correct. Yeah. But what is it like, Henry, being with the band or the Quests, and how do you feel, the success of the band itself? Because within less than 3 years, you're all like, boy, it's on the Billboard chart, the name and the pieces that you all have played.
Yeah.
And the places that you've been to around, Malaysia.
Yeah, firstly, we didn't plan it. Yeah. Mrs. David was sort of like a mother to us. Yeah, and she's very tender. She was very young then, at that time, probably 30 plus, or slightly older than us. She plans everything. She called for the press conference. She called for the publicity. She managed our funds and everything. And she insists that we cut a record every month. To cut once every 6 months is really a tough job. Cut every month, wow. But so we managed. We managed. We recruited Keith Lock in. And he became an instant hit with his unique Jamaican style. Remember? Don't Play that song. Yeah. Yes, so he became very unique to the group. And a lot of our tunes hit the charts, and we just get swept along. We didn't plan for it. We didn't say, oh, we must do this, must do that. No, we didn't plan anything. We were just young teenagers. We were just swept along by the wave. And suddenly we realized that anything we'll do will hit the charts. So we are quite happy. As little kids, teenager, we thought that was quite fun actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that is really so cool.
Yeah. So we really continued. The downside of it is we have a lot of TV appearances in big demand. TV, and we lost our privacy. Yeah, when we go out in public, we lost our privacy.
In what way?
You get recognized and you get stopped on the streets. They want to chat to you and so on and so forth. They want to ask you lots of questions. The fans will coming around. But we have to oblige them by signing the autograph on the records, speak to them. We have that obligation at least to them, because without them there'll be no Quest. Yeah, so we must remember that from the start. Yeah, they are the one who make the band, not us. So that's only the downside, which is actually not a very real downside. It's quite positive also.
Okay. But, what would you consider would be the achievement of the Quest?
The achievement of the Quest was the meteoric rise in a short time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was happy to see Shanty rocketed upwards very fast together with Gallopin, and also a few more other songs that I composed later, and all of them always hitting the charts. Yeah, so every time there's a new record, you look to me until my brains got fried.
But have you ever asked yourself, hey, where did I get the inspiration from?
Yeah, I really can't answer the question, but I discovered as I mature musically that the best way to compose is to stay, if you're a pianist, stay away from the piano, or you're a guitarist, stay away from your instrument. Just go look at the sky and get the tune in your head. So you won't get tied down by the natural progression of the chords and so on.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, that was the best advice that I hear from Burt Bacharach.
Oh.
Burt Bacharach said that, don't get stuck on the piano, because your hand You keep going to the same chords. Or guitar or something like that, or your instrument, you keep wanting to go to the same chord. Get away from it. Let your mind loose. You get your mind loose, and all the tunes will come to your head. Don't worry about the lyrics, because the melody is king.
Yes.
Melody first, then the lyrics.
The words come in.
But lyrics also important. But the melody must be melodious and easily recognized, whether it's a vocal piece or an instrumental. And if you can't remember the melody of the song you wrote, then it's not worth remembering it. Because if you can't remember it, nobody can remember it. Right? So if you remember it, then it's worthwhile giving it a shot. Yeah, so melody is king. Always remember, those who want to write song, melody is king. Yeah, you don't have to prove that you can play 128 notes in a bar. No point.
All right, good. Now, you remember, you were very popular way back in the 60s, and that was the music of those years, that era. Now, if you were to look at the music of today, is there a vast difference? Or is it because today people have got access of the latest gizmos and gadgets and what have you, which you all don't have?
That is the downside of today's music.
Okay,
Yeah.
why?
It has become very digital and very robotic. You got MIDI, they use MIDI, 0 to 127 sounds, and then you don't even have to compose. The sequencer can compose for you. Yeah? And then there's a lot of sound and fury, and then and where's the melody? I can't, I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, there must be a melody. Melody is king. You just can't go and beat the drum. Okay, you get a good piece of disco where the kids can bump to. Yeah? But the melody, where's the melody? Yeah, and that's why maybe the older folks stay away, because they want a melody. They're used to the melody and the analog sound, not the digital sound. Yeah, so that is a big difference between yesterday's contemporary music, where you hear the drums, you hear everything, and everything has got a human touch. Yeah, and the funny thing is, today they use sequencer. You go to the software, there's a sequencer where you can make, and that sequencer is so accurate to the microsecond that they even built in a humanizer.
Oh.
They make it a little bit less electronic-y by putting in a human element, so that you'll miss this fraction of a beat, and it's not so 100% spot on. Yeah? So they want it a bit more analog. Yeah? So that is the irony of it. You depend on the electronic, and then you want to make it more human. Yeah, just like a robot wants to be human.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's the way
Then that's kind of sad, don't you think so?
I don't know, maybe they call it progress.
Okay, and then during the late, I think 80s and early 90s, you penned the book, correct?
Yes, I was traveling and working in hotels, and in the evening that's really boring. So I have my laptop, so I just
So you wrote this book, call it Shanty.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and even to today, you are still continuing, with music whenever you have the opportunity, because the passion is still in you. Am I right?
Today I still play with 2 or 3 bands. Yeah. One mainly with a church group, which I help them to play the gospel music and so on for their outreach. And the other one is I have a band which I think I'm jamming with for probably a year now. Yeah, they are all really top musicians, and I enjoy playing it. Yeah, and we should be in some concert soon.
Good.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yes,
Yeah, so that means going forward, Henry Chua will continue to carry the torch of the quest. Correct?
I hope so. Maybe not me alone. Not me alone.
I know, even we Guan is still around, because the rest have all gone, right?
It's the quest legacy, not my legacy.
That's right. It's the quest legacy. Never mind, I mean, I know you brought your guitar with you today, right? You brought your bass guitar to our studio
I brought
today.
my guitar.
Oh, you probably got not the bass. Oh,
Not
it's
the
your
bass,
guitar.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
never
yes.
mind. But are you going to do something for us?
I'll try.
Oh, okay, good. All right, let's bring on the microphones and let's listen to Henry Chua. Oh, wow! Do you know, listening to that really brings back memories of the year 1964, right?
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, Henry, it's so awesome. You know, Shanty used to be my favorite song.
Yeah.
And I used to play it on the airwaves
Oh,
whenever I'm on
thank you very
duty.
much.
Yeah, you are such a darling.
Because you're playing it, that's why I'm here. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It's a pleasure
Yes.
to be here.
Great. And
Yes.
it's a great pleasure for
Yeah.
me too to have met you again after all
Yes.
these
It's a
years,
long
here
time. It's a
in
long
our
time. Yes.
studio in Dream Forest.
Yes,
Oh
yes. It's
boy.
been a long time. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
remember, guys out there, if you really enjoyed our shows all these weeks, make sure you subscribe to our channel and don't forget to give your comments. Remember, we're always here for you. And now, on behalf of my good friend Henry Chua of the incomparable The Quest, this is Belinda Sunshine and
Henry.
saying goodbye from
Bye-bye.
when we were young.